6 of it. Thank you for joining us while you're live. Before we talk about the topic of today, we would like you to subscribe, like, and share around the world like you always do. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing. We have our episode 6 right here. Like we do and always say, we'll here to talk about different topics, but mostly about business, sport, and politics. But today we'll be talking about government policies and related to business. But before that, we just launched a show this week, which was Marvel Point of View podcast, a virtual audio we did this week for our episode 1 of that. It's kind of different from this. It's just going to be a voice. You don't have to see me on the screen. That one is going on. And this one we're doing today is the virtual one, which we are currently on episode 6 of it, which is this one. We're going to have a guest that can join us virtually around the world. We have guests from Nigeria, from Lagos. We have guests from London City. We have guests around the world that have joined us virtually right here. And you can watch our previous episode about that. Today we have an interesting topic that we're going to talk about. And it's going to be on sustainable business practice and environmental impact. So when you're about to start a business, you must be able to know what kind of, you know the problem. Is another thing to know the solution. But most people know the solution to the problem. But one of the biggest issue I've understand and trying to study is implementation. Most of us didn't know how to implement and know what practice to know how to implement a successful business, to run a small scale business or a big organization, how to set a short term goal or long term goal. And with the environmental impact about it, we live in a society regulated by government policies, how to find your staff, how to find your customer. The government really assists you with policies. How are you making your profits? Are you paying your tax? Because I encourage you to pay your tax and all those stuff. But today we have interesting person that can really educate us about all this. You understand how business, some small scale business should go, and also understand how government policy really runs. And especially we'll be focusing around the world, but mostly we'll really go to sub-Saharan Africa, and we're gonna be going to the largest democracy in Africa, which is Nigeria. We're gonna be having Mr. E. Destiny Asen, who is also the senior special assistant to the former governor of Delta State during the administration of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa. Mr. Ifeanyi Okowa was the vice presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party during the 2023 presidential election to the ex-vice president of Nigeria, Mr. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar of the People Democratic Party, who took second in the presidential election result. He is the senior special assistant who will be talking to us today from Lagos, Nigeria. Mr. Destiny, are you with us?
I am with you, my brother, 100%. How are you doing over there?
I'm good, sir. Thanks for joining us virtually from Lagos City. How is Lagos today, sir?
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Lagos,
Go ahead,
Busy,
sir.
Lagos is as busy, traffic all over the place. Yeah. Crazy internet, but trying to fix it.
Thank you. Thanks for joining me today. The first topic question will go to you is that, or would you like to first introduce yourself to my point of view before I go by the question?
I mean, you've already done the introduction, so all we need to do now is, go straight into
Okay. Yeah, my first question.
I appreciate you bringing it on.
Okay, bad network is it? Yeah, my first question is: how do you see government policy in Nigeria supporting or hindering stable business practice?
For me personally, the policies on ground so far, it's I would say it's favorable to the government, but as long as businesses in Nigeria are not thriving, I would say that the policies are not favoring businesses in Nigeria, and something needs to be done about it as soon as possible.
So what do you think is the solution? Oh, because there's a high of inflation.
Currently, the solution is to create an enabling environment for businesses, small, medium, and large businesses in Nigeria to thrive. How to do that to make things easy is to make loan collection, provide grants for SMEs. Empower people. Business wise. Because Nigeria is a big country full of potentials, full of people with high level of business ideas and IQs. So I believe the best form of investment at this point is human capital development, and I believe that if the government focuses on investing in Nigerians, our businesses we expand, and if the government as well focus on investing in Nigerian owned businesses, businesses that are owned by Nigerian, both here in Lagos, in Abuja, in Kano, all over the place, and even some of the businesses owned by Nigerians, even outside, Nigeria. So for me, the best way to go about it is to create an enabling environment for Nigerian businesses to grow. And the major way or the first approach to that is making own collection in Nigeria. The collateral we have been asked of by banks or corporations or microfinance is too much. How many people in Nigeria can afford to bring out collaterals before getting loans in Nigeria? And about the recent tax reform bill that is going on in the National Assembly, for me, for now, I will just keep my remarks to myself. But I just hope that the government does the right thing, that will benefit business people in Nigeria, not just the government. That's all I'm going to say.
You bring another big topic we are not prepared for today, which is the tax reform bill, which is one of the most trending information going on right now in the Nigerian, I call it Congress in America, but the Nigerian National Assembly, which kind of go back and forth between the Southerners and the Northern senators, having some conversation about that. Hopefully, like you said, you don't want to make a comment about that. You kind of go to my second question, which really says, can you describe any challenges specific to Nigeria that companies facing in reducing environmental impact? I can't hear you, sir. I think it's muted right now.
Yes, please, can you come back on the second question?
So the second question is, can you describe any challenge specific to Nigeria that companies face in reducing environmental impact?
I would read if you can expatiate or elaborate.
So companies are not really growing faster, like what you said, because of loan and everything. And can you describe the challenges facing them, but how is that affecting the market base? What can they do to grow their profit?
What the business people can do
to grow their profit, at least, yeah. Because most issue to start any business anywhere in the world is capital, and Nigerians are having issue with capital. Some will tell you they have the capital, but to run its cost of running a business is expensive.
Well, running businesses in Nigeria is quite expensive. Well, for me, I feel like this in Nigeria needs to do better with their staffing, and I mean their surrounding as well. I mean, business excellence, professionalism basically. Majority of the Nigerian business doing things halfway and operating on the Nigerian mentality instead of imbibing the culture of the private sector. And what I mean by that is majority of the companies in Nigeria find it hard to train their staff. Staff should be properly trained by hired consultants or hired companies to bring in seriousness and professionalism into the private sector in Nigeria. And also we have lost what is called social capital development. In the private sector, there's something that is called what was it called again? Social something. Is in the course of the conversation I'm going to remember.
Okay.
It is for the companies to give back to the society in every little way possible. It's either you are giving back to the general public or you are investing even in your staff. Companies need to train their staff. I'm emphasizing on this because the staff are relating, they are the first, interaction with the clients or the customers. They need to build a good customer data,
I think he's having network issue right now to join us to able to continue the conversation. But when he's live with us right here, we're able to talk more about it. He is having some internet issue from Lagos, Nigeria. We have been talking to Mr. Destiny. I say he is the former or senior special assistant to the former governor of the South State, Nigeria, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. But I think he's having an issue right now, and he's been discussing with us about sustainable business practice and environmental impact in Nigeria and how we can go through it. And government policy has been really been affecting small businesses, and it's also encouraging business owners to able to work on their businesses and make sure the staff is being paid well. And that will encourage the staff to do. I think he's back with us virtually right now, back online. Yes, we're with you, Mr. Destiny.
So earlier, social responsibility, give back to the general public, join some, conglomerates, because in Nigeria, in Africa, needs to give back to the society. Companies are holding back, their corporate social responsibility, which is very, very wrong. Companies need to imbibe the culture of corporate social responsibility, because in order for the government to create an enabling environment for you as a business, you also have to do your parts. Private sector people, private sector captains of industries needs to imbibe the culture of corporate social responsibility. I have personal reasons why I'm repeating this over and over again. And corporate social responsibility comes with a lot of benefits, which I may not want because of time. But I just hope that in Africa and even around, how important corporate social response and how it affects environment positively or negatively. Environment, our businesses will thrive.
I see the network is bad.
As your clients or whosoever that is connected to your businesses directly or indirectly will feel the impact, and it is also customer, building customer relations. As a business owner, or good of your environment. My brother, I have to be honest with you. Some factories in Lagos here, if you go to some institutions, you will feel extremely bad on why companies, most especially here in Nigeria, treat their environment like that. You'll be surprised that there's so much waste, lack of waste management by some of these big corporations and companies do not care about.
Oh, yes, we have been talking to Mr. Destiny. I said is really having a big internet issue from Lagos City, Sub-Sahara, Western, Southwest Nigeria. Mr. Destiny I say has been talking to us about government having their own share, business owner you used to have your own share. Over profiting is one of the big issues that kills business. When you're trying to over profit, your customers might stay away from you, and you yourself to have your own what you need to do than you just focusing on what government will do for you. What are you doing for the environment your business is located at? It's part of his idea is trying to give right there and being honest. And that's the same issue I do always like to talk about personally, and that's my own personal view. On Marvel point of view, we don't like to really discuss personal view. We just like to have our guests talk more about it, and you have your own idea. But these are issues that affect businesses worldwide. Even here in the United States, there's this conversation about we should profit more. Is a minimum wage because some ask the right wing, which is the conservative, believes that when there's a minimum wage increase in minimum wage, it kills business. But when minimum wage stays the way it is, businesses grow. So do you want to get paid more, but you do more work, or you want to get paid less, or you do less work? It depends because you have to also care that because if the business dies, for example, if you're getting paid $10 and you started getting paid $20, in 2 years' time the business can die and you might lose totally of the job out of business. But in a situation whereby you're getting paid $10 for the next 10 years, which one do you want? These are conversations that's been worldwide, not just sub-Sahara or African economy, even in the US, in the Western world, Europe. There's been this big, deep conversation, and he has been talking to us about it. How we need to focus more about what each of us going to do. But I think it's out of data right now. He's really talking to us from Ikoyi neighborhood in Lagos, Nigeria City. He's having some internet issue. We might close the program if he's not back online with us for some time right now. He is Mr. Destiny Ase. Mr. Destiny Ase is the senior special assistant to the former governor of Delta South State, Nigeria. He is during the administration of Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, who was also the vice presidential Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, the vice presidential candidate of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who was also the presidential candidate of the People Democratic Party, who took second in the presidential election, conceded the election to the All Progressive Congress, APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So he is the vice presidential candidate to him, and he's also, that's what Destiny Ase is. But he's not joining us back live right now. We might end up closing the show based on bad internet. But thank you for joining Marvel Point of View today. At the same time, we would like you to also support our podcast show. So our podcast show, it's a new episode we started this week. So what is it going to be about? It's going to be about talking from the mind. It's like a virtual radio show. So I don't have to be on the screen with you. It's going to be a pre-recorded live show that will be right here showing for you. Listen to the voice loud and clear. For you all to have, we don't need the guest about that. It's just after it's done, I might not come to close the show. The show can just close based on the audio recording. And this is the virtual one. The virtual one is that we have a guest joining us virtually around the world. We have guests from London City, Lagos City, Ibadan, and different, even Indianapolis and around the world. Guests has joined us on the factual one, on this one, which we're in the episode 6 of it. But for the one of episode Marvel Podcast MPV Media Show, you can also listen to that. We don't really have a schedule for all those our shows for now, but you can just join us and support us till we grow better. Because when you're there to support us, we are here to also grow faster. The only way you can support us is to by you subscribing, like, and comment. We keep talking about this. Thank you. We've seen the growth in a couple months. We've seen the growth of the show. We have been doing great about this. And Mr. Destiny is not really joining us back now. We might end up closing the show. But this is MPV Media. We have two shows, the virtual one and the oh, thank you, Mr. Sam. That's my friend, Mr. Sam. Thanks for joining us right here. So you can join us on the podcast one. We'll have our show to talk about it. And this Mr. Destiny was joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. And the topic for today was sustainable business practice and environmental impact. Thank you. Thank you for the support. And we'd like to close the show now at Marvel Point of View Show, episode 6 of the virtual one. Really appreciate you. Really thank you for supporting and liking us. We'll see you. You are here, Mr. Sam's Ains. You are pronounced it right. I really appreciate you for supporting. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Talk to you all soon. Till the next episode, stay tuned and make sure you all subscribe. Thank you. And you can also join us on our social media page at Marvel Point of View, at Marvel Point of View on Instagram, at Marvel Point of View on TikTok, and at Marvel Point of View on X, or at Marvel Adigun on TikTok and at Marvel Adigun on Instagram, and on Snapchat at Marvel_Adigun. You can have questions, or if you want to come live on show, you can also join us there. But before that, you can do all those to have conversation with us on that. I forgot to tell you our social media handle before we close the show today. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.